Alright, hello everyone, Soul17 here. Let me first, like usual, and on this pictures, paid video. Alright, okay, made a thumbnail. So, this is, I basically came back to this series. So, in a sense, let's just get this started. This is what if Naruto had the mark of the outsider, dishonored. So, last time we left off is, well, Naruto basically learned from Jiraiya basically the Rasengan, more seal techniques, basically becoming master in sealing, and the Rasengan, I think I already said, so just some stuff. No summoning, but, basically it's also Neji's fight. Basically, Ino, he met and it made her angry. He also met the Daimyo, he basically killed Danzo. A lot of basically the problems that Naruto would have had is gone, but the future always changes. So yeah. So let's just get this started because I only have like 20% battery left and I want to basically finish this what if and, do what I need to do. Basically, I honestly just need to sleep. So let's get this started. So basically, we start off when they're all in the arena. Naruto and Neji are in the arena, and Heihei, whatever his name was, basically died in canon. So, what's happening is simple here. Basically, the guy in canon that basically was doing the match for them, is there. He goes, alright, are both of you ready? As Neji just nods. Naruto is about to nod too, but something happens. Everything seems to stop. As Naruto goes like, wait, what? Oh, the outsider. And he goes, hello there, Naruto. It's been a while. And he goes, yeah, it has been, outsider. So, why are you here this time? He was like, oh, I just came here to wish you good luck. And I basically also just wanted to see, are you going to basically use your, other abilities, or are you going to use only the blink? Since it's so similar to your father's Haracian. Which Naruto just grins, basically, and goes like, I'll keep it a surprise for you. Which he just chuckles. He was like, alright then, Naruto. I cannot wait to see your choice. As then, basically, everything goes back as Naruto, says, yes, I'm ready. As he goes, alright, then begin! As he basically jumps away. As Neji's basically just looking at Naruto. Naruto's slowly taking out a regular kunai. He goes, what's the point of fighting me, Naruto? You are fated to lose today. As Naruto just sighs and be like, okay, enough of that fate crap already. Seriously, you're annoying. And he goes, he's like, what did you say? Like, you're annoying me. Which he just, glares at Naruto. He goes like, oh, what? You're basically gonna glare at me because I said that. So he basically throws the regular kunai, Neji takes out his, and basically blocks it. He basically then sees Naruto, he was already seeing Naruto running at him. But the speed that Naruto is running at is with a little bit of chakra enhancing. So it is basically faster than what Neji is, I would say, normally used to. But since he's been training with Lee for years, he's used to basically faster speeds. So, not years, but a year. So basically, he will predict Naruto's movement, but he also then basically notices a feint coming at him, which does hit him and basically hits him really hard, which does basically make him wince a bit. He goes, come on, use your dojutsu. I want to see what you're made of, Neji. And he goes, if I use it, you'll lose. Which Naruto just thinks to himself, yeah, right. My chakra is now mana. So I don't think I'll lose. Which basically Kurama just snickers. So, basically Neji doesn't activate, he's still arrogant, so he's like, I'll defeat you so easily, Naruto Uzumaki. And as Naruto just sighs and be like, alright then, bring it on, Neji. So, Neji runs forward, tries to hit him, basically, in his basically Tenketsus. Naruto's basically dodging. He basically is able to redirect from, actually fighting back against Neji. Neji started to pick up the pace Naruto is too. So, right when basically Neji sort of, how should I say, makes a overshot, Naruto's able to counter it. Well, able to basically use that to his advantage, but that's what Neji wanted. But Naruto uses a little bit of wind chakra that makes Neji basically jump away, as then he has a small cut on his cheek appears. As he goes, not bad, right? We're still working on that, but I think basically I can call it wind armor. What do you think? Which Neji's like, I didn't expect that from you. Which he's like, honestly and truth. Naruto's thinking this, honestly and truth, I just came up with that just a couple weeks ago. So, Neji says, maybe I should, not says to himself, but he thinks to himself, maybe I should use my dojutsu. So he activates Byakugan. He basically can see the mana and, he thinks it's chakra. So he would basically says, this will be decided with ease. So Naruto takes out at least 3 kunais and throw them at Neji, which Neji then, would just grab a kunai and block them. But then he basically sees Naruto use multiple shadow clones. At least 10 of them, and they all have basically equal dividing, basically chakra. Which that would surprise Neji a bit. So he thinks all I have to do is basically, destroy them one by one. So in a sense, that's what he does. And he does get hit quite a few times by the clones before they get dispelled. And so Naruto was basically one of those clones. Well, was the second to last clone, actually, was surprised Neji. He basically says, I'm surprised you basically was willing to basically be hit by me. He goes, believe it or not, that strike really got me there, as he's holding his left shoulder. He thinks to himself, even if I'm basically pretending my tenzaku is closed, that still hurts. So Neji just smirks like, I'll win today, Naruto. Surrender, because you're fated to lose. Naruto just sighs and be like, fated to lose, huh? Who decided that? Naruto basically just acting like his usual self. Back up in the stands, basically. Sakura and Tenten were seeing the match. Tenten is shocked, along with Sakura. Basically, though, well, not Tenten, Ino and Sakura. Yeah. So Tenten would basically be right next to him and say, he's gonna lose. Which, basically, Ino's like, huh? What do you mean? Neji's a natural genius. Your friend ain't gonna win. Which Sakura I wouldn't underestimate Naruto. He always basically can pull something out of the, blue, like it's nothing. Which Ino was like, really? How? He was able to do it at Wave. He was able to do it in the Forest of Death. He was able to beat Kiba with ease. Don't you think he's getting stronger too quickly? Which, that would kind of make Ino think. Which Tenten says, doesn't matter. He ain't gonna win. So, back up in the stands, back up with the Hokages, which Hiruzen's like, Naruto seems to be doing quite well, as Orochimaru will agree. And he goes, how did that boy take care of my summon so easily? I must basically see this. So, I would say that Orochimaru took some interest, but not really in Naruto, still in Sasuke. So, Naruto just says, alright, let's crank this up a notch. It's time for me to stop playing games. And then all of a sudden, Naruto basically takes out his sword, and then all of a sudden he takes out a band, well, some wrapping, and basically starts wrapping starts wrapping the band around the where the button is. Yeah, the button of for the sword is. As soon as when it hits that button, it basically puts pressure on it, and you can hear that click. All of a sudden, it turns into the executioner blade, as then he basically just grabs onto it and holds it onto his shoulder, which everyone's shocked by that, including Tenten. She's like, "Wait, what? How does he have that?" Which even Neji's shocked. He goes, "Wait, how do you have?" He goes, "The executioner blade, and how basically I made it change its form." Honestly and truth, don't know how that works, but hey, I got it from Zabuza, Demon of the Mist. And you remember his special technique, right? Which he's like, huh? Wait. You don't mean he was... I figured out a way how to use basically his favorite jutsu with no water source around me. As then all of a sudden he does the hand motion for the hidden mist jutsu as a mist starts rolling in behind Naruto, covering him then along with Neji. Neji's basically just looking around trying to find Naruto, but he can see only basically chakra, is he thinking. Which then he hears, "Poor little Hyuga cannot use your dojutsu to find me. How does it feel to be blind for once with those all-seeing eyes?" Which he goes, come out and fight me, Naruto." He goes, "Why should I fight someone like you? One who would basically try to harm a ninja of Konoha to the point of death." Which I would kind of surprise Sam. He would say, "You don't understand anything, Naruto. Don't basically meddle. And why would you fight for that weakling?" He goes, "Simple. I fight for people who deserve to basically... I fight for those who deserve to be protected. I fight for people who are weaker than me because it's the right thing to do. Unlike you." As in all of a sudden Neji basically would see Naruto right behind him as he basically tries to basically hit Naruto's tenketsu from behind his back. All he sees is the sword as he sees Naruto just holding the blade. Basically, he goes, "You..." Wait. I would say you lose, but no. He just says, "Eat this." As then he just slashes, from the side. As you can hear Neji basically scream out of pain as the mist basically, fades away. And you basically see a slash mark on Neji. There's a little bit of blood. He goes, "You're lucky I didn't basically try to go too deeply with the cut. I just basically pierced your skin just to bleed a bit." Which Neji's like, basically backing away. He basically can see basically blood leaking, but it's not coming out really quick. He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Why what? Why you didn't try to basically make me so I would knock out?" He goes, "I don't know. I mean, I don't want to basically badly wound someone from Konoha that can basically put them in death. So I chose basically just for the least amount of damage." Which Neji just glaring at him and angry says, "What? That's your reason?" He goes, "That's all I need." Then he thinks to himself, "You're not really worth to kill. I mean, I kill people worse than you." He thinks to, like I said, he thinks to himself that. So Neji just gets mad. He was like, he said, "It's because of, I'm from the Hyugas." Basically, he was like, what that had to do with anything, Neji? He basically would then take off. Saying, "I'm from the branch," and then it doesn't matter. Basically, he would take off his headband, explain about the branch members and how the Hyugas are. Which Hisashi would close his eyes because of. He also would say about his brother's death, in which then he was saying, "And what type of burden do you know?" Which all of a sudden, like Hiruzen and many different ninjas and civilians would basically just kind of just eyes widen. As then all of a sudden Naruto takes the band off. of where the button is, it transforms back and puts it into the side, and then he wraps the band on his right wrist. Which Neji's confused, and he goes like, burden? What type of burden? Or any sense of burden do I know? As basically when Naruto was like having his face down, looking at the ground, and then basically Neji can see Naruto's fists, clenching, as he can see blood coming off of it. He goes, "The I know a burden far greater than yours, Neji." As when he looks up, Neji can just see a basically cold stare looking back at him. He goes, "I have a burden greater than yours. I have a burden that basically everyone hates me for. A burden that I never asked for. So you can tell me about a burden where you are hated, mistreated, outcasted, and you can tell me if you can live with that. Where every moment is a survival of the finish. Where everyone doesn't even talk to you, look down on you, telling everyone that basically of their kids to never play with you, to never have any friends. Then you can talk about burdens to me, Neji. But since you don't have that, besides that little bird seal on your head that you can technically get rid of by basically having, a seal master look at it and destroy it. Talk about a burden. As Neji basically would be shocked and then angry. Basically, the Hyuga's basically council just basically look at Naruto with a little bit of anger. As then all of a sudden, Naruto goes into his basically back of his kunai pouch, and he takes out a 3-pronged kunai, which everyone is shocked. Neji's like, huh? What's that? He goes, oh, this is a 3-pronged kunai. Similar to basically the great fourth Hokage of this village. So, as then he just basically puts it in his mouth and makes multiple shadow clones that they all have exactly the same kunai. As he goes, can you handle this onslaught? As basically they just throw them, as they just like, Neji basically does a rotation, basically make them all basically just fall basically to the, go up in the air, and he stops and they fall all around him in different areas, and he just smirks for like, they're easily blocked. You will lose today here, Naruto Uzumaki. He just says, correction. He goes, huh? Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He goes, wait, what? As basically all of a sudden, the clones are basically running towards Neji, as Neji basically does would do the rotation again, but since the basically dagger, since his basically 3-pronged kunais are in the barrier, as the Rasengan's there, basically he just basically smirks. He goes, I'll end this in a flash. And basically all of a sudden he just blinks while he's basically Neji's in basically about to stop the rotation. He basically feels like basically a kick, and then basically another basically blink or basically a flash everyone sees, as then he punches Neji, still holding the Rasengan. Basically, this happens at least 3 to 4 times, which everyone is shocked by. Then all of a sudden, Neji just hears Rasengan, as then he slams the Rasengan into Neji's basically stomach, basically sending Neji flying into basically the wall. As Neji is still somehow conscious, and Naruto already picked up all of the kunais that were on the ground, just throws one right next to Neji, as then he just blinks right when it hit the wall, grabbing it out of it. He goes like, it's easy how I won, Neji. Honest and true, you couldn't have beat me. It's not like basically you could have even closed up my tenketsus anyways. He goes, huh? What do you mean? He goes, take a look at basically my left shoulder. Which he basically looked, and he knows he hit the tenketsu. And yet the tenketsu is still running like normal. He goes, how? He goes, I was able to avoid basically your little attack with ease. So, never basically think someone that started off as a weakling cannot become someone basically special by denying their fate. fate can be denied and make it your own, Neji. Don't let that basically saying everything's decided by the way you're born. No. You basically take fate in your own hands and basically make it a better one. So, how's that fate for you? And then basically Naruto's walking away. As basically the proctor basically says his name, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. As basically all of a sudden, like, everyone just starts clapping as Naruto just looks at everyone and just kind of just chuckles a little. He thinks to himself, they actually think I care for that praise or sense of accomplishment basically they're giving me. A little bit too late, don't you think that, Kurama? Which Kurama basically just snorts and be like, you're liking it. Don't lie to yourself, Kit. He just chuckles like, okay, maybe a little. So, basically everyone was actually shocked when Naruto basically said who he was, as, yeah, him basically doing the flying Raijin, which everyone thinks, basically when he gets up to basically the stands, basically everyone who was basically at the fight are looking at him and goes like, do I have something on my face? Basically, just Shikamaru was like, you're troublesome blonde, which basically I just think yeah, just Shino be like, it should have been logical that you were, since you do look like the fourth Hokage. Which Naruto would be like, no offense, yeah, just take away the whisker marks. Basically, we go where Sakura, Ino, Tenten. By the way, Lucy's there, but she just didn't want to say nothing. Basically Hiyashi and Yuki basically were watching, basically, were smiling. Because technically they basically bet on Naruto winning, so they kind of want some money. But give me a minute. Okay, so basically, like I said, we go to Ino, Tenten, Sakura, and Lucy. Which Ino's like, no way. he's saying he's the fourth Hokage's son. Which Sakura's eyes widen, and she goes, he did exactly the same thing like the Lord Fourth did with the Hiraishin. Just Tenten's like, he has the Executioner Blade. He beat Neji, and he can use the Hiraishin. Which basically Lucy just says, he is the fourth Hokage's son, Minato Namikaze. Which basically just Sakura, Ino, and Tenten finally realize she's there, which Sakura's like, Lucy? Is that you? She goes, hi Sakura, how you know? Which basically, Ino's like, where have you been? He goes, oh, I was somewhere. Naruto found me and brought me back. Which basically Tenten's like, how do you know he's the fourth son? Which basically Lucy says, oh, he found a picture basically in the third Hokage's office, in the Hokage's office, and basically brought it down, put it next to his face. And, well, it was basically just said, he basically said he was, and basically Lord Third didn't deny it. He basically got his home back, and I saw pictures of him and his mother, well, his father and mother being together, as he explained, about them a bit to me. Which they seem to really love and care for him. Which Sakura's like, I see. Tenten's just like shocked and basically just surprised by Naruto, but then smiles. And she goes, well, that's good. Which basically Sakura and Tenten, even Lucy, are basically looking at her. Like, huh? What do you mean? He goes like, well, he finally can stop hiding his face. Or his true face. Which basically Lucy's eyes wide. He goes like, you knew? He goes, yep, pretty much. I knew the Naruto that we all thought we knew, especially, probably Tenten here didn't. It was all just an act. Which Sakura's eyes wide. He goes like, wait, how? He goes, which, just looks at Sakura, which then Lucy goes, your dad, he's in interrogation, basically, with Ibiki. I know Ibiki very well from my childhood, and I do know how to read people. It's one of my talents. So I did know Naruto may have been hiding his true personality, but I didn't know why. So I never basically called him out on it, which it wasn't really my, well, anywhere to say. Which just Sakura just shot by, and she basically says, "I was on." Well, she says in her head, "I was on his team, and I couldn't even figure that one out." Has he always been faking it? Which she would ask Ino, like, "How long?" Which she just sighs, you're like, "Well, if you're basically wondering how long, probably since the day we were, well, when we first met him in the academy." Well, I mean, we did meet him early in our life, but Naruto, I heard from my dad, he basically joined the academy early. So before we came, he was already there. And that's how he failed the tests almost 3 times. He failed it twice before he basically passed the third time. Which Lucy just nods slowly along with Sakura. Ten like, "Wait, that Naruto? He used to wear orange and be loud. Basically, Sakura says, yeah, he changed after Wave Mission. He changed a lot." Which basically Ino says, "Uh-huh. I always basically heard him complain about, after a test, about his grades. Basically saying about how they always were basically cheated. Well, he always got the basically harder test, which basically Iruka never believed in. I may have basically transferred my mind into basically our old sensei, basically Mizuki, and his test papers were basically different from ours." I didn't say anything to my dad because, well, he may have not believed me, and I would get in trouble if I basically even told him that I used larger clan technique on a basically fellow, ninja of Konoha, which Lucy just says, "I can understand why." Which Sakura doesn't. Neither does Ino or Tenten. She goes, I know some a little bit more stuff than you guys. And besides, Naruto doesn't care about the villagers and what they think of him. He really doesn't care for the village at all, actually. Which, I mean, that would kind of even surprise Ino, but it surprised mostly Sakura. I mean, Tenten didn't really know much about Naruto, but, I mean, I think she'd be a little bit surprised. Now, why is he a ninja? Which, basically, Lucy just shrugs, being like, I really don't know anymore. I don't even think he wants to become Hokage. It's just probably to get out of the village more often. Or basically you can take on basically better missions in the future, so when he has a family he can still support them. Maybe that's the only reason. I honestly don't know. Which, basically would just chuckle, be like, well, that is Naruto. Always care for others than himself. The ones that deserve it, at least. Which then Sakura was like, wait, is that why you never really badmouthed Naruto or talked back about him? Or even basically yelled at him most of the time over here in the academy? Which, just nods, be like, yeah, why should I have basically done all that? She just tilts her head to the side. Which Sakura basically kind of just, look forward. He goes, well, at least I basically wasn't like Hinata. Which, basically Lucy just kind of just sighs and be like, no offense to her. I mean, I don't think Naruto liked her at all. Maybe as a little sister? Or just a sister? I don't really know. Which, says, she just kept on stalking him. Basically when he trained. I followed her one day, if you guys are wondering. Which kind of, be like, Sakura like, oh. So yeah, Hinata was not nearby, but, she has a feeling someone's talking about him. About her. So every fight, everything goes to canon. But basically when Sasuke does arrive, because Orochimaru would convince Hiruzen, Naruto didn't say nothing because he honestly has a feeling about something, which at this point in time, during these little fights, after Shikamaru was kicked by Naruto, where she goes, troublesome blonde. he was talking to basically Kurama. He goes, "Yo, Kurama, what do you need?" He goes, "Naruto, I figured out a way to give you the Kekai Genkai." Which he goes, "Wait, seriously?" He goes, "Mm-hmm." And you'll be able to basically transfer to your, children. He goes, "Wow. So, what's it? What is it?" He goes, "Well, basically, you can create a field around you, an area, actually. About it basically depends on how much chakra you use with just a snap of your finger when creating it. But in this area, you'll be able to basically manipulate, make illusions, make everything seem like it's real, even change something like a tree or a sign to basically say something else in a different direction or so." Which he goes, "Huh. So that means basically I can control everything in this field." Which he, nods. He goes, "Correct. As I already said, you can." To how much extent? To they make everyone hear and see things differently than what they are. He goes, "So mess with all five senses? It's like a genjutsu, but only where I can control?" He says, "Exactly." Which I'm basically, I had a name. Well, I had a name even a name that basically a friend of mine helped me in thinking of it, and I may get it wrong since it was basically a couple of hours when he said it. But start with basically the letter D. Delusion. Um, not scramble, but I think it was delusion. Something like that. I'll have to basically make sure, but I'll probably make this what if probably in the next couple of days. So delusion, something like that. Or give me a minute. I want to make sure of something. Alright, I'll just have to basically say it later in the next what if I make. But it's probably delusion or something like basically just able to warp and make you basically see things. I thought it was I thought whatever name he basically said, I'll say, but I thought it was a good name. I decided to go with the idea. So I'll check later, but I'm at like 14% battery. But so let's just keep going. This is only gonna probably be like a level, like basically the next like an hour long. But yeah, so basically after that, Naruto says, "So how long? Wait, how does it work?" Basically, say like basically says any area you see. So I have to have a vantage point. He goes, "Yes and no. This can work with basically shadow clones too." He's like, "So that is actually kind of gonna be useful." But wait, if the shadow clone makes it and uses up all the chakra in it by snapping, doesn't that mean then he goes, "No, you basically still have control for it." Which he's like, "Okay, this is very useful." He goes, "Alright. I'm already basically putting it into your gene. Well, into basically, already giving you the Kekai Genkai." He goes, "Nice. Thanks, Kurama." He goes, "No problem." By the way, dude, Chiha's basically fight, about to start. He goes, "Thanks." Hold up. Alright, so, okay, what happens is simple. Um, Everything goes to can with Sasuke. He does train a little bit harder because Naruto did beat him when he was in basically the curse mark form. So, yeah. But everything goes exactly the same. So the attack happens, Kakashi basically telling Naruto, Sakura, Shikamaru to go, and, well, Naruto basically just sighs and, goes and basically do it. He did not get into the I don't think the illusion would have worked because it won't be chakra, it'll be more mana in him. So yeah, he wasn't, getting hit by the actual genjutsu. So in a sense, they will go after Sasuke. But here's the difference. Naruto basically froze the kunai as far as he could, and he basically would be able to see where it is. So in a sense, Kankuro would been in the area. So basically, he grabbed both Shikamaru and basically Sakura, but unexpectedly, someone also grabbed him, and then basically they blinked, or say, Haration, which they just get there, which basically Kankuro was like, I knew someone was following us, which then Naruto looks over and was like, wait, Shino? It was actually logical for me to come with you since I did have a fight with him. He's like, I see. He goes, go Naruto. He goes, right. So Naruto picks up the kunai and basically chucks it again as hard as he could, which, yeah, basically they arrive. With Shino and basically Kankuro goes exactly the same. Naruto basically would blink to the basic kunai again, which I would say this is basically where Shukaku is slowly starting to come out, or well, about to, which Tamara gets thrown because it happened sooner because of Naruto basically has this unusual power, which basically Shukaku is basically getting riled up. So Naruto basically then used, well, basically his basically time ability, the time stop. I'm just calling it for right now because I don't have the book with me, and I started this because I really was running out of power and I wanted to make this as soon as I could. So basically, he does go to Gaara just sigh, like, okay, let's see, I have enough time. Basically, I have only a little bit of time. So he does he does a scan, he makes shadow clones, as they did a scan, basically where it was the seal, as they find it, and then basically see how poorly it was made. So, yeah, Naruto basically gets out a scroll, basically have the ink brush and basically ink, and starts working on Gaara's seal right away. He puts basically a stronger seal that's able to hold Shikaku with another seal basically to press Shikaku's chakra and let Gaara sleep. Basically, that's how strong the seal and the suppression is. So basically, when time resumes and Naruto's basically back where he was, all of a sudden Gaara just falls over. Which Tamari was shocked. Basically, for some weird reason, Kankuro comes in out of nowhere and just says, okay, that bug user was really a pain. He goes, wait, Gaara! So he just runs over as Tamari is just saying, I don't know how. And he goes, Naruto just doesn't say nothing. But Sakura's looking at Naruto along with Shikamaru, which basically Sasuke is about to get ready to fight. But then, well, all of a sudden Naruto basically makes multiple shadow clones as they basically are just surrounding Sasuke. As Naruto's slowly basically walking as Gaara is still awake. I said basically he fell over, I think, well, passed out-ish. But but because of the noise, he's waking up because Tamara is saying, stay away, just stay away. Basically, even Conqueror's taking out, basically, kunai, I won't let you hurt them, basically, moment. Which Naruto goes like, so, so basically, you're like me, huh? Which Gaara was like looking, he was like, what do you mean? The pain, the loneliness. You understood what I meant when I said that, right? Being an outcast by your own village. He was, he basically looked at Naruto as his, he's basically trying to stay awake. He goes, you are like me. He goes, yep. He goes, then how are you so strong? Which he thinks about it. He goes, well, easy. I had someone who gave me a chance to change my fate, you can say. To change everything, and I took it. But I also had people that I also was betrayed by someone I cared about a lot. But I'm hoping we can basically fix it in the future, our relationship. and I have people in my village that I care about a lot, that I'm willing to protect. But I don't care for the villagers in my village at all. Not one little bit. Then why protect them? As I said, there's a few people in my village that I care about a lot. And nothing's gonna change that. Even if I see the person that betrayed me, I still care for them. I just don't show it. Which Gaara's eyes widen. Then he hears, and you can change that too, Gaara. You can basically make people acknowledge your resistance, where I couldn't. It's gonna be hard. But I know you can. He goes, how? I have nobody. He goes, you have your siblings. Give them a chance. You'll find out you're wrong to not trust them. As Naruto's walking away, as Kankura's like, that's it? You're just gonna let us leave? He goes, I can kill you both and Gar anytime I want. But I'm not. Unlike my their Chiha here, I don't like to kill senselessly. Which, Sasuke's like, dope! Why are you letting them leave? They're the enemy! As all of a sudden, Naruto punches Sasuke. Full on punches him, and hands fist, knocking him out. Which he just sighs, me like, ugh. Fine, at least he's just quiet. He picks up Sasuke, puts him over his shoulder, see ya. As then he just jumps away with Sakura and Shikamaru are doing exactly the same. Which Tamaru goes Kankuro, she goes, I know. Also, you're not gonna ask me how I even got here? She was like, you probably substituted with your puppet. That you pretended it was you. He goes, yep, pretty much. But she just sighs. So they pick up Gaara as they just jump away. As Gaara says, Kankuro, Tamari. Which they like, huh? I'm sorry. Which they when both smile, goes no problem, Gaara. So yeah. Hold up. Okay, just to let you guys know, just because Naruto defeated Gaara early does not mean Hiruzen is not gonna die. It would take a while for them to get there, and also since Shino was facing the puppet, as soon as he thinks he defeated Kankuro was running away. He thinned out his chakra strings, so right when he fell over, that's when he realized that it was a puppet the whole entire time, which he goes I should have realized it. It was only logical he wouldn't be here. So, his father came and saved him and such, and, yeah, the forces of Suna left. Orochimaru lost his arms. Naruto's wanted to help Shino and his dad, So, in a sense, he does help Shino getting back to the village, which Shino's father thanked him. He goes, it was no problem. So, in a sense, that happened. And when they get back to the village, they see the the destruction, which Naruto was actually surprised. And then the news hit him. We time skip a few days later. Everyone is wearing black, at a memorial for all of the ninjas who have died that are from Konoha, in the battle, along with seeing a picture of Hiruzen. Konohamaru is crying while Iruka is comforting him. Naruto looks very much not his usual self. Sakura is worried, but our boy Sasuke, he's just mad at Naruto. He's mad, he's upset, he's mad for Naruto ruining his shot, basically proving that he's stronger than him somehow, and that, you know, and that he couldn't have basically prove his strength, but he's also sad because of Hiruzen's death. So, in a sense, everyone is sad. Kakashi sees Naruto's look in his eyes. So, yeah. So here's the thing. After everything is said and done, everyone's leaving. Kakashi does notice Naruto is not leaving, no matter what, not even basically, if he stays in the rain. All Naruto is doing is just looking at the picture at Hiruzen. And when Kakashi would stay there to see if Naruto leaves, so he knows that Naruto just wants to get, is going to say something that should only be private with him. So, right when Kakashi leaves, a few more, 20 minutes pass, which he basically finally says, "How dare you die on me? How dare you die on me, old man? You died on me when I couldn't even basically whoop your butt, take that hat away from you. How dare you die? I wanted to show you I was going to become Hokage." Basically, he starts crying, basically releasing all his, emotions, and then he finally was like, finally like, "How dare you die on me before we can fix anything, Gigi?" As, he basically, falls, on his knees, basically, how could you die on me, just leaving us? Basically, and where I hated you, where I was mad, felt like I couldn't trust you. We didn't even get a chance to fix anything. If only I had a little more time, I would apologize. And just talk it out with you, instead of just avoiding you, and he's just trying to say how he feels, and just, in the end, he just starts crying and basically apologizing. Basically, this goes on for a bit before he feels something on his shoulder. He basically looks up and he sees Hiruzen with the outsider, which basically goes, "GG." So then basically, Hiruzen smiles and he's like, "Naruto, my boy," as he just then, Naruto hugs him and starts apologizing profusely, which basically Hiruzen just has a soft smile and basically starts crying and basically hugs Naruto. And he goes, "It's alright, my boy. It's alright. I understand." He goes, basically though, after the hug goes, Naruto says, "I'm sorry, he goes, basically, Hiruzen goes, "I know. You felt like I betrayed you. And you had the right to basically not trust in me no more. Not consider me a part of your family. I deserve that." So he goes, "No, I knew you were protecting me, trying to at least, but I just," he goes, but she just hears Hiruzen just chuckling a bit. He goes like, "Huh?" He goes, "Protect you? Yes. Did I do a good job of it? No. I failed so many ways, Naruto. So many ways, my boy. But even then, the one thing I've never failed is being proud of you. Being proud of the boy, the man you are becoming." Which Naruto's eyes widen and he goes, "I know you probably don't want to become the Hokage of this village. I can understand that. And basically whoop my butt to take the hat. You are still too many years too early for that, Naruto." Which Naruto just starts chuckling. He goes, "I know. I really don't care for this village that much. But I still couldn't be there for you." Which he basically just pats Naruto's head. He was like, "You're still young. Still so many years left in you, Naruto. Do not worry. Just move forward in your life. And know this. I will never be disappointed in you, and I will not basically ever be mad in your decisions for what happened today. Not, well, actually, what has happened with us. I understood that was my fault. I did not think you were ready. I thought I was protecting you, but in truth, I was only keeping you in danger. And I truly do apologize for that, Naruto. Which he was, it's fine. I'm sorry for basically losing trust and not trying to talk it out. Which basically Hiruzen says, well, have to go, my boy. Maybe we'll see each other again. As basically, he stands up and puts his hands behind his back. Which he goes, Gigi! Which basically, Hiruzen just, was actually walking away, which he looks back, he was like, I'll become strong. I'll become the strongest ninja in the world. I promise you that. Believe it! As basically Hiruzen basically smiles, he goes, I know you will, my boy. And to think you've had this power. You are truly remarkable, Naruto. Truly remarkable. As in, basically, he looks at that. Hiruzen looks at the outsider and be like, thank you for letting me have this last moment with Naruto. Which it was no problem at all, Hiruzen Sarutobi. You have tried your best, basically, to protect him. And you even knew, basically, the protection may have been non-needed or, well, been lacklustered. Which he does nod. He goes like, hey, Mr. Jinchuriki basically was the most openest thing in Konoha. I should have realized didn't have more protection. But the council was, well, he just nods. So, basically, Hiruzen walks and basically fades away, which Naruto sees the outsider, which he's about to say thank you, but then the outsider basically holds up his hand. He goes, I only did what basically was give you a last moments to apologize. You needed it. And now you have a new goal, Naruto? Which he does nod. Which basically outsider smile. It was like, you are truly interesting. Never stop amazing me. So, he basically looks at him and was like, what do you plan to do now? He goes, train. Get stronger. Find more rune scrolls and talismans. Upgrade my abilities. Get stronger. Get new jutsus. Do whatever I can to keep my word. For that is my ninja way. Which he basically smiles. He goes, may I make a suggestion? He goes, why not I hunt down every sword of the 7 swordsmen of the mist? Current and former. He goes, wait, current? He goes, well, the ones who actually hold them. The older generation still holds on to it. So I call them old, basically, the predecessors, and not the current. He goes, I see. That sounds like a good idea. I could get stronger. But wait, how did this, executioner blade, he goes, void metal would basically change the look of the weapon. That is all. Basically to a preference you want. You probably thought the sword would be best. So the weapon changed to basically suit you. He goes, I see. Thank you. He goes, not at all, Naruto. As then he just fades away. So Naruto basically looks at Hiruzen's picture and says, see you around, Gigi. And then he just starts walking away. So, after that, basically, Naruto's helping out the villagers. He's basically starting to basically care for the village again. Because of, there's people here that do, and because, well, it's because of Hiruzen, he cared for it a lot. So, basically, people are seeing him basically helping out and such, and everything. The daimyo came over and just sigh and be like, we lost a great person too in your war. Which basically everyone's basically upset in the council. Which he goes, and there's not many candidates basically for the Hokage position. So, I came to a conclusion basically by looking through the files I had on ninjas that were basically qualified. And the only one that I see fit is the granddaughter Tobirama. Well, no, not Tobirama, but of basically Hagar. Well, hold up. The granddaughter of Hashirama Senju, Tsunade Senju, which everyone was basically in shock with the council members wanted to say something, and then the council, basically agreeing with him. Basically, just one of the council members, but why? She has not been around you for years. Civilian. He goes, easy. She has the qualifications and she has the experience. What would you have me recommend? Who would you have me recommend? Which is like, what about Lord Jiraiya? Which he says, no. He would never basically set the position. And besides, I think he basically squinting at basically the council member goes like, I know you know of Naruto's godparents. And you do know Jiraiya is one of them. Which he's like, yes. But which he was like, so my question is, why would you even you know this would basically suggest Jiraiya? Because he won the legendary Sannin, and in truth, he would be the strongest, Hokage that we have for a while. Which he goes, so no political gain? He goes, no. It was interesting. Alright. But I already have asked him, he said no. So, I said to him, Tsunade, he basically said he offered he'll basically will go and find her himself, as long as he could bring one person with him. I said, okay. Which, basically everyone's basically kind of surprised and, not the Ninja Council. So, Jiraiya already talked to Naruto, but we're going to Naruto where basically he's in front of the Hyuga's the Hyuga home. He goes, excuse me, is Hisashi Hyuga here? As, a guard's coming out. He's like, who? Oh, it's you. He goes, yep, so. Is the head of the clan here? Which he does not. He says, I'll get him. So, basically he gets Hisashi, basically. Yeah, basically, Hanata's father. Hisashi, whatever. I'm not really in the mood to care at the moment of what their name is because I'm trying to rush. Sorry. Give me a minute. Alright, so basically, Hanata's father, Hisashi, basically comes out and he goes like, Naruto, it's a surprise to see you here. He goes, yeah. Can we talk in private? He goes, please follow me. So they walk in and, they basically go around the compound into basically an office. He goes, so, would you like anything to drink? He goes, no. I'm only here to ask you some questions. He goes, oh, I see. I will try to answer to the best of my ability if they're not clan secrets. He goes, no. It's about your daughter, Hinata. He goes, what is it? He goes, do you know basically about her, how should I say this? Hobby? He goes, oh, of her session with you. He goes, you do notice. Which he does not. He goes, is that the main thing? He goes, that and also basically her timidness and shyness. He goes, yes, that. As he can tell, Hisashi basically said it with a little bit of sadness and a little bit of disgust. He goes, let me guess, she's weak in your eyes. He says, no, never. Which surprised Naruto because he actually said it really quickly with emotion. He goes, I mean, no. No. He says, so, let me guess, if I'm basically going to assert my boundaries. You care for Hinata deeply, but it's the clan and the elders, right? He does nod. He goes, they view her as weak, and she's not getting stronger. And then Naruto just says, okay, so how have you been treating her then? So Hizashi just sighs, be like, I don't know why I'm only telling you this because, one, I don't know what to do, and two, I'm... I used to talk to your father about my problems when we were teammates. With Naruto's eyes widen, but then nods. So he basically explains about how he trained Hinata and how she's not, well, basically able to do the gentle fists of their clan. Which Naruto just says, huh, well, I can see why you would say that. Neji's able to do it perfectly fine, since he's basically mostly Earth Chakra, which Hazashi's eyes basically widen, which he already understood, but Hinata could have a different chakra nature, which could affect her with her. I should have realized when I trained her. And he's actually stopped using the persona of, Hizashi Hyuga, basically, that he made. Which goes, yeah. But before that, we go into that detail. Your daughter may only admire me, not be truly in love with me. Which, huh? What do you mean? He goes like, she may basically admire me for my courage and my basically never give up attitude, which I still have, but it's not my real personality. I'm not loud or annoying. I'm actually really smart and intelligent. I only basically got so low grades and never really paid attention to schools because why would I ever do that when no one basically was going to give me a proper test or basically call on me for the questions I knew? They basically kept on trying basically to give me harder questions, and if I get them right, they would tell me I'm wrong. Which he would nod and just sigh. So, in a sense, basically he goes like, what do you mean by admire? He goes like, well, I might have saved her basically when she was getting bullied, and ever since then she might have been basically watching me, trying to use me as an inspiration, because how he would basically tell how Hinata would not give up to fight Neji. He was something, then he says something I would do in that situation, which he would nod. He goes, and also, this could be because of your clan's basically output on her, basically thinking her she's weak, never really caring about her, and viewing her as just a tool for a political game. As a father, you wouldn't do that, but as a clan, which I think then Hizashi realizes and gets mad and angry and be like, I've been sabotaging my own daughter for my... He looked down in shame and he was like, well, the only thing you get to do is just try to basically mend what you can. You still got basically so many years until you have to basically put the cage bird seal on her. And I may be able to come up with basically a seal to break it. I mean, I kind of read about it when I was basically reading seals, and I might not have liked it because someone basically wrote into a book of it, which he's like, huh? Wait, no, that's only supposed to be clan secrets. He goes, well, as Naruto has a little bit of a flashback when he went back into the underground city and gone to basically found a place that sells Hyuga information and learned about the cage bird seal and read up on it. It was like, yeah, someone basically sold those clan secrets about the cage bird seal, which Hizashi's eyes widened. He was like, who? He was, don't worry about it. They're all burned away, but I did ask someone who basically was around. They said that shop only opened up recently. Which basically was really the guy who basically owned it. Basically, he said, "Oh, we got that basically information today. There was nothing else. No one's ever gonna basically was, no one bought it." Which Norwich was very thorough in his investigation. So yeah, he says he knows who. He knows who. Be like, I may or may not know who did it, but it's basically some of the councilmen on your council. Here's the names. as it's basically half of the council, and it's all of them who hate basically him because he's not putting a cage bird seal on his daughter. So he's mad. He's basically furious. So, he goes, "Did you?" He goes like, "Yeah, try this out. This experimentation one. All you have to put it on it and basically put your chakra into it before you put it onto them. Then basically do the release. It should break the seal where they're able to wipe it off. It's only a testing one, so you have to basically explain that to a branch member." So he does nod, and he does call basically a branch member to get basically someone basically that's older from the branch, and branch basically as when they do come in with they do come and goes like, "Lord Hisashi, how may I help you?" Hisashi, I mean. He goes, I want to basically ask you this. Will you be willing to do a test basically to see if this basically would hope the seal on the paper be able to basically break the cage bird seal on your head? Which his eyes wide, and he basically says right away, "Yes, I would not. I would be glad to." Basically, Hisashi would say, "This is experimentation. There could be any, you know, worries. You can go and say goodbye to any of your loved ones just in case, and explain to them the situation, and tell everyone and they see the branch family, so it does not seem like your death was." He goes, "Yes, I'll go do that real quick," as he does go tell his friends and family, as they tell, whereas they're all surprised and hoping it works. So, in a sense, yeah, it works. It works perfectly fine, but it was supposed to work like in like a instant, but it takes a few seconds for it to basically work, and basically gets destroyed, and it does leave pain. The person does scream, as basically Naruto can see what was going on with it, but it did work, which basically he says, Lord Hasashi, please test it. Which he does try to basically do it, to the person, and nothing, no extreme pain, nothing. There's no problem. Which Naruto goes like, it worked, but it's supposed to be instantaneously. Now it takes a few seconds. It still needs to be worked on. But I'm glad basically this will work. Which basically Hisashi basically shaking Naruto's head and said, "Thank you, now I can finally get rid of this accursed thing." Which Naruto just grins like, "No problem, I'll talk to Hinata. By the way, I do have some clothes working on it, so give me a minute." As he basically has a clone, it just poofs. Memory transfer, as the clones who work on seals, basically, a group of them basically are working on basically a new way to basically make it faster and more efficient. So yeah. So in a sense, Naruto goes to Hinata, makes her basically explains to her how he felt about, her watching him, and never really came and talked to him, basically try to help him. And the fact is he, doesn't really know anything about her, but in a sense, he would like to get to know her, but he doesn't think it will go any further than probably friends. And basically, though, she came to realize that she idolized Naruto, not being in love with him. So, in a sense, it kind of starts off real quick where it just seems like they're friends, but in truth, they're acting like brother and sister, like Naruto's treating her like a sister. So she calls him basically Big Brother for some reason, which Naruto just went with it. And basically, when Hanabi met Naruto, she called him that too. Which he goes like, "Alright, I'm a big brother now." Which Hisashi basically had those members that basically sold off Hyuga information executed, and told the basically Hyuga basically council that basically Cage Bird Seal is banned, and basically it will be removed. As soon as he basically can. In which Jiraiya would come around, basically looking for Naruto, and when Hisashi said that, he basically was like, "Finally!" I came up basically or basically, an actual way to get rid of that cursed thing, which Naruto heard that and he goes like, let me guess. He basically explained the seal. So he was like, yes, I do have technically he would show basically the blueprints that he had for it. He was like, yeah, this worked, but I mean, I'm trying to basically. He was like, yeah, this could work. So basically, they kind of brainstormed right there and there, making the seal right then. But it's like, made a clone, basically made it poofed, and another member, was willing to do so, and they broke it. So, yeah, a whole bunch of basically seals were being made, and yeah, Hazashi got a good amount. So Naruto asks, what does he need from Pervy Sage? He says basically he needs Naruto to come with him on a mission to find, basically, Tsunade Senju. Which Naruto's like, alright. So yeah, this is where I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye. See ya.